Welcome back to One Comic Book Day, where we're covering Action Comics 143, The Bride of Superman, possibly featuring the worst version of Lois. Now, I've talked about the 1950s being one of the worst decades for comics, and especially for women, and Lois, who was a very tenacious, who went out and did what she wanted and got the story, and sometimes kind of destroying Clark Kent in the process. That was kind of awful, but in a different way, the less sexist way. I kind of enjoyed that Lois Lane. I miss that Lois Lane. Now, the Lois Lane of the 50s is mostly focused on wanting to marry Superman or being really jealous of Superman. And this is one of the big jealousy stories. And I should rephrase that as not being jealous of Superman, being jealous of other people that Superman's paying attention to. Sometimes it's really bad to the point that she's just mad that he's looking at another woman. And I don't understand why we're telling these stories. I get that love stories are popular in the 1950s. I don't see why a comic being written for, say, 9 to 12-year-old boys is all that fascinated in women being super jealous. Do they find that really funny? I feel like they wouldn't care. Or they wouldn't be all that interested in what Lois is going through. And Lois is very awful here, just extraordinarily awful. So, The Bride of Superman involves a mysterious woman arriving, claiming that she is Superman's fiancée. She is wearing a veil, so we don't know anything about her, including what she looks like. As soon as Lois hears this, she hates this woman. She constantly says awful things about her, calls her ugly, even though she hasn't seen her, maybe plain, just constantly despises this woman and her attention to Superman. And a lot of the story is her trying to prove that Superman actually loves her, which Superman is not going with. Now, there is a way to sort of do the story, not having Lois jealous, but having Lois actually suspicious of why Superman is marrying anyone and looking into it and following them and trying to discover what's happening and possibly ruining things in the process. But that would play into what we know Lois is like, not this just shadow of herself version. No, we're not doing that version. We're doing the version where she tries to write an article about how awful this woman is, even though she's barely met her, and how Superman jilted her, even though Superman has never actually tried to date her and has told her before that he can't marry her because he worries about what his villains would do to her. I don't know if he actually explained that outright, but he did tell her he couldn't get married. So she's really mad about that right now. Eventually, we have to come to the discovery of why Superman's not going to marry some random woman we just met. She is a scientist working on something that racist stereotypes of Middle Eastern men. I think they're supposed to be Turkish because of the turbans, but I can't trust that they cared that much to put that much detail. They're also incredibly yellow. They look jaundice. Are trying to kidnap her and steal her formula. This is all just kind of contrived to get a reason for Lois to be really jealous for the entire issue. So even this is not portrayed very well. So Superman does, in fact, care for Lois and will always care for Lois and will eventually marry her. And we'll enter an era of Superman where Lois can just run off doing her own thing and not really caring about what Superman's doing except when she comes home and they have dinner. That's a good era of Superman. Not this era. Stay away from this era, especially if you're a Lois Lane fan. Okay, that is it from Action Comics 143, The Bride of Superman. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification when a new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And why does he not just clue Lois into these things? Because she kind of just will get involved and ruin it. Like, even good Lois would get involved. It's her thing. She always sniffs out a story. Okay, have a great day.